So this here is Tyre Nichols, and he's no longer with us because these five thugs beat the brakes off of him in 2023. And you know what's incredible to me? That three of these five thugs were just acquitted of murdering this man. And there has been no media outrage. No political figures have come forward to condemn or to express any sort of concern for how a jury unanimously found three of these thugs not guilty on 7 counts, including attempted murder. Let me find the other charges here. And if you've ever watched that video, it is horrible to watch. It is a very difficult thing to get through if you've ever watched that video. And you know what's so crazy is when these five thugs were fired, damn near immediately, then you heard black people screaming, "This is racism. You fired these 5 black officers so quickly." This is how you know we've gotten to a place of just pure stupidity, because their boss was a black woman. So then when we couldn't use the race narrative anymore, that these 5 black officers, they lost their jobs and careers before there was even a full investigation. So we couldn't play that game anymore. So then it just quietly went away. And so these thugs came up on federal charges first, to which they either pled guilty or were convicted, including witness tampering was the charges. But the 7 counts that these thugs, 3 of these thugs, because 2 of them took a plea for state and federal, and then the 3, I want to say it's these first 3, but I'm not sure. Count 1, second-degree murder. Count 2, aggravated assault at acting in concert. Count 3, aggravated kidnapping with bodily injury. Count 4, aggravated kidnapping with a deadly weapon. Count 5, official misconduct, unauthorized exercise of official authority. Count 6, official misconduct, refraining from performing a duty. And count 7, official oppression. I need answers for how this jury reached their verdict. I hope some of these jurors speak up. I really hope they do. They probably won't. They probably won't. But it's interesting that they moved the trial from Memphis, where it happened, all the way across the state of Tennessee to Chattanooga. Now, I'm not usually one to racialize things, but I'm saying it was an all-white jury. Now, we could say that people are just allegiant to the blue no matter who, right? Which would be ridiculous. But I would need to know how and why and for what reason. But if you watch the video of Tyre Nichols getting the brakes beat off of him, I don't care that he ran, because these idiots didn't know how to pepper spray properly. And so therefore they got the pepper spray in his eyes, and he saw an opportunity to get away, as these people were literally beating him for no reason. He was already on the ground. He was already restrained. Why are we still using this excessive force? This is a routine traffic stop. This is not anything over the top. And any law enforcement person that I've spoken to said the same thing. This is a routine traffic stop. There's no reason for them to be this aggressive. There was no de-escalation. Now, I would advise you to go watch the video. Obviously, I'm not going to play it here on YouTube. I'm sure it's on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure if I use it, there's going to be a problem. So we're just not going to play the Russian roulette with that. But go watch the video. Don't watch the body cam because the body cam, everyone's moving. Things are kind of all over the place. Go watch the footage captured from the lamppost in 4K, everything. Stomping on this man's head. What do you, two holding him, restraining him while he gets punched in the face several times. These thugs, these animals, should have never been police officers. This is why I say I back the blue, but I do not back anyone's bullshit. I've had people unfollow me because I've criticized police officers. They don't always get it right. Police officers are human beings too. They don't always say and do the right things. And when they don't say and do the right things, I'm not above calling them out. I'm not tribal. I'm not so beholden to them that I can't say that was wrong. That was a mistake. That was just stupid. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you can't say that, then I can't support you. If I can't say that, then I can't support you. But let's get back to the non-protests. Where are y'all black asses? Y'all have ran into the streets on theories, lies, hands up, don't shoot, which we all know was a lie. George Floyd, we know that was the biggest grift and lie. It was politically expedient. George Floyd was the perfect storm. A political year, time for the blacktivists to make some money. But for some reason, we watch Tyre Nichols basically get murdered on film. No Al Sharpton, no Benjamin Crump, no Jasmine Crockett, no AOC, no Democrats taking knees in the rotunda of the Capitol building. Silence, crickets, deafening silence. And I'm supposed to take y'all black asses seriously. This is what I say. This is what I mean when I say racial idolatry is stupid. It's feeble-minded. It's reductive. It's remedial. It's for simple-minded people. Y'all are so obsessed with race and protecting black people, no matter what they do, right or wrong, that y'all can't protest and call out these 5 animals who unalived this 29-year-old young man. And then 3 of them got to go home like nothing ever happened. There were no autonomous. This is the time where we should have autonomous zones and people should really be in these streets really pissed. Interesting, isn't it? But when this criminal, drug addict, lifelong loser, decided he wanted to bring his ass into a store with a counterfeit money and had an unfortunate encounter with law enforcement, we took to the streets. We put this nigga on murals with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. Y'all did that. Not we. Y'all did that. Then the real injustice shows up. Crickets. Not a near one of you mothers to be found. So Tyre Nichols' life wasn't worth it because he was murdered by 5 police officers who were black. Now here's the $1,000,000 question. $1,000,000 question. If these 5 officers were white, you can fill in the rest. Y'all would be burning down every metroplex in this country right now. Y'all let Minnesota burn over a crackhead who overdosed and had no trauma to his neck in his autopsy. He's kneeling on his neck. He's kneeling on his neck. If someone's kneeling on your fucking neck for 9 minutes, guess what? In your autopsy, there's going to be trauma to your neck. Unless you're just some bionic specimen. You're going to have traumatic injuries to your neck, especially if it took your life. And the fact that he had none, and the fact that we were reacting to a 9-minute video, not what happened before we got to the 9 minutes, because we didn't get that footage until later. And then when we got the full footage, we had already been inflamed and enraged and outraged and crying and screaming and yelling from the mountaintops that it was injustice. And by the time we found out what really happened, y'all had bought the lie. Y'all bought the lie. Y'all bought the victimhood. Y'all made this man the martyr he was never supposed to be. This is the crackhead uncle you tell your kids don't be like. This is the crackhead uncle you never leave alone in your house, and if you even invite him in your house at all. This is the crackhead family member that you rarely invite to any gatherings with the family because you always know that something nefarious may just pop off. A career criminal, a thug who met his own faith because of his own actions. There's that accountability piece that y'all never like to take. George Floyd is dead because of George Floyd's actions, not Derek Chauvin. Now, I do say Derek Chauvin is one of the stupidest people in America because people like this genuinely will die in the street. Let the streets take care of people like this. He's a career drug addict, loser. He will die eventually of the streets. So the fact that you created the optics that made it look like you murdered him, and then you had a trial with a jury that wasn't sequestered, a jury that was doxxed. You had political figures from the president to members of Congress threatening the jury, and the jury could hear this in real time. So what other decision did you think they were going to make? America would have burned to the ground had Derek Chauvin been found not guilty. But we're not ready for these conversations because we make everything about race. So when you make everything about race and the real perpetrators show up and they happen to look like you, what do you do? What do you do now? What's the course of action? What's the next steps? Oh, acting like nothing ever happened. Acting like Tyre Nichols' life didn't mean a goddamn thing to you. There were no extensive think pieces on anybody's social media platform from the left, in particular from the left, from Democrats. Oh, there's some people. No, 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 no. This should have been on the scale, if not bigger, than what happened with George Floyd, minus the looting and the burning of shit. But there should be protests literally in every major city in this country over what happened to this young man. There should be a call for major, and from what I've read so far on the Memphis Police Department, a very corrupt department. And mind you, the one time I've been to Memphis, Tennessee, I was almost robbed. I watched people take people's Amazon packages and stuff from the that wasn't theirs. I was in a grocery store. I felt incredibly unsafe, and I got the hell out of Memphis. Now I'm sure there's a good part of Memphis, but I wasn't gonna stay there long enough to try to figure out where it was. I had seen enough, and I'll probably never be back. I'm good. But when you think about Memphis, Memphis, Democrat run, Democrat, mayor's Democrat. I should have looked up the last time if they've ever had a Republican or a non-Democrat mayor, but who I'm just gonna go with it's either been a very long time or no. The mayor during this time was a white dude. The mayor now is a black dude. Don't matter. I don't care. The only person that did the right thing in all of this was the former police chief. The former chief of police. She did the right thing. Now, I know she has a bit of a controversial past herself. I know she ain't squeaky clean. But on this, she did the right thing. On these 5 animals, she pulled the plug expeditiously, as well she should, because there's no way you watch footage like that and you put people like this on administrative leave. This man should not be dead. A routine traffic stop. He should not be dead. And you watched his murder in 4K and you did nothing. You people are pathetic. You're useless. And you wonder why no one takes you seriously. You'll play the victim in a New York Minute. And then when the real stuff shows up, when the real bad boys show up, oh, mm-mm. Because nobody told you to be outraged. Nobody told you this is what you should feel. Nobody told you to criticize these 5 animals, these 5 thugs who had a badge. Oh, don't be outraged for them, but be, oh, Derek Chauvin. Oh. Now, let's be clear, I'm no Derek Chauvin fan. Again, like I said, he's one of the stupidest people in America. Why put your freedom on the line for a thug? A thug who's going to die by the streets any damn way. But we want to sit up here and act like George Floyd didn't overdose. We want to sit up here and act like there was no trauma to his neck, but I'm not going to go over that again. This is the real enemy. This is the real injustice. This is what you should be fighting. This is when you call for better community police relations. This is when you call out your mayor who appointed the police chief, who kept these people on as officers. If you watch the confrontation from the beginning, they were aggressive out the gate. This felt personal. This felt intentional. And y'all let 3 of these mofos walk. And Tyre Nichols died 3 days after sustaining his injuries. and screamed for his mother because he was really screaming for his mother because he wasn't that far from his house. But AJ's the problem for calling out the BS. And let's be clear, like I said, I back the blue, I don't back the bullshit. So when police officers are wrong, the police officer that shot Dante Wright, she was totally wrong. Taser, taser, taser. And you got a gun in your hand the whole time. You can't tell the difference between the gun and a taser. I understand adrenaline's high. We're rushing moment to moment, trying to figure it out. But you killed Dante Wright. No matter how ratchet his life, you had no right to take it in that moment. Now, I remember a few people unfollowed me when I critiqued that heifer. But when you do stupid things, I'm going to let you know it's dumb. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to kiss your ass. I love when people say to me, oh, I'm a Republican too. I don't give a damn. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're MAGA. I don't care what you do or who you vote for. I either mess with you or I don't. We either cool or we not. Just because we voted for the same person doesn't mean we're equally yoked. Doesn't mean we cool. Doesn't mean we believe the same things. Doesn't believe we understand nuance the same. That's low hanging fruit. It could be an attempt to build a bridge to somebody, but to think just because we both voted for the same person, we're the same. No, we're not. We're not. There are dumb people in every political ideology you can think of. There are tribal idiots in all of it. And we just have to do a smart job of parsing them out and understanding that the extremists we cannot have conversations with. But sitting in silence as three of these people get to go home to their families knowing that they murdered somebody and y'all did nothing about it. To quote Malcolm X, you're a chump, a political chump. And this is why we have black fatigue. And this is why y'all claim black people are most disrespected and the lowest of the totem pole, because you do low totem pole shit. You protect your thugs and your criminals. You don't speak up when the real injustice shows up. But you burn down the nation for a crackhead. Interesting. You burned down the nation when George Floyd passed. The propaganda around Trayvon Martin, the propaganda around Tamir Rice, the propaganda around Michael Brown. Now, there could be some nuance in the Tamir Rice situation, but y'all don't want to have a nuanced conversation. Y'all just saw black and white. If black officers had rolled up on Tamir Rice and took his life, you would say nothing. If a black officer took Philando Castile's life, you would say nothing. I remember the girl. Remember the girl was about to stab the other girl, and the officer shot her. And these idiots are talking about why didn't he tase her? Do y'all realize tasers are not always effective? She is literally about to kill someone. I don't give a damn if she's 16 or 15 or whatever age she was. You're acting like a wild animal right now. You are out of control and you are about to commit a felony before my eyes. How is the officer wrong in that? How? How about you raise your kids to have self-control, to pick their battles? What the hell could they have been arguing about that you had a knife in your hand prepared to stab another teenager? What the hell could y'all have been arguing about? That was worth you basically. So say you lived, your freedom's gone now, right? Because you literally killed someone in front of police officers, in front of law enforcement. So was it worth it all around? No, I'm pretty sure at this point, If her dumb ass could come back and not do something so stupid and animalistic, she wouldn't. But you're not outraged over Tyre Nichols being murdered because nobody told you to be outraged. And now you're going to sit back and act like it never happened. And you're just waiting for a white police officer to make a mistake somewhere. So you can blame it solely on race. You're not being hunted. You're not being over policed. You're being over policed because there's crime in your neighborhoods. That's why. That's why every major black celebrity doesn't live around your black asses, because they know what the element is in those neighborhoods. And they know that people don't snitch, and they know that people don't work with law enforcement. And they know that if they show up with some, even the inkling that they have any privilege, that you're going to try to take it from them. So why would I live here amongst trash, amongst people and their bad decisions and their protection of criminality? Why would I do that? So spare me the song and the dance of "We Shall Overcome" and all of that foolala. It's ridiculous. And we've got to do better. Much better. Tyre Nichols deserved so much better than we gave him. And I'm pissed. And I'm saddened. And I'm frustrated because the prism of color should not be a factor into whether you are mad as hell. But like I say all the time, when the real injustice shows up, when the real racism, when the real police brutality shows up, when the real stuff shows up, y'all black asses are nowhere to be found. And it's a damn shame that somebody has to tell you to be outraged. Nobody had to tell me to be outraged over Tyre Nichols. As soon as I saw the video, it was like, what the hell is this? I don't give a damn that these officers are black. A thug with a badge is a thug with a badge. What is the man's name? Tony Tempa? Tony Tempa is the real George Floyd. That man had a knee on his neck. And do you know what his son got from, I forgot what state, but his son got $1 million. George Floyd's family got $27 million for a brutality that never happened. But y'all keep convincing yourselves that y'all fighting the power and y'all fighting injustice. You're not fighting anything except just stupidity. You're not fighting anything. You're not fighting anything. This is why you've made no progress. Y'all followed Colin Kaepernick's dumb ass taking a knee for police brutality. Well, he brought attention to it. Okay, now that you bring attention to it, now you got to do something. Well, he did a Know Your Rights camp. Okay, show me one significant piece of legislation that the Know Your Rights campaign has influenced. Show me where the Know Your Rights campaign is building police community relations, because contrary to popular belief, you need the police. Contrary to popular belief, you can't afford personal security like Cori Bush could, like AOC does, like Jasmine Crockett does. You can't afford that. But y'all ain't building no police community relations. Y'all just sitting up here charging a whole profession for the mistakes of a few bad apples. But I say this all the time. We do this to every group. Black people, we take a few extreme, crazy, out of control blacks and we make that the highlight reel for the black community. We take a couple of dumb MAGA people and we make them the highlight reel for all things MAGA. We take a few wayward, bonehead Hispanics and we make them the poster children for all Hispanics. We do it to all of our respective communities. And until you understand that shutting the hell up first is probably the best option and getting the facts before you act, is much more important than reacting with no evidence, because then you start making an ass of yourself, and then it starts to become emotional, and then you start applying historical hurts that don't need to be applicable, and then you start putting crackheads like this on a poster, on a mural with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. That's how we get to stupidity like that. Do better. Appreciate y'all for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this video. Also, make sure you check out my merch store, ajsrantroom.com, ajsrantroom.com. That's the merch store. We got political merch, we got inspirational merch, we got gym bags, we got duffel bags, we got a whole bunch of things. We got t-shirts, we got summer gear. So go check us out. Support a brother, support a brother, support the channel. That's how you support the channel. And we appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.